Good evening, everybody. Welcome to What He Said with Kevin Walker. Of course, I am Kevin Walker, and my phone would wait until we go live to start giving me some technical difficulties. Hold on, wait 1 second. I think I got it. I think I got it. I got it. I got it. Yes, I am Kevin Walker. Sitting with me tonight will be the poet, will be the author, will be the CEO, Miss Tracy J. Miss Tracy J, how are you doing tonight, ma'am?
I am having an amazing day.
Hey, you know what? Rich people normally have amazing days because they have no obligation to do anything but hobnob and be rich. So, what did you do today, Miss Tracy, for your day to be so wonderful?
I had a wonderful leisurely day where I did do some work and then I spent lunchtime with my friends and then we sat by the pool and now I'm talking to you. It
So what time did the lunch take place?
was, early afternoon.
Early afternoon or early before noon? Which there's two different things.
it Oh, you're right. You're right. It was before noon. It was
Yeah,
like
I know. I was just trying to get you to tell the truth.
no, I was okay. It was like 11:30. So it was just barely before noon.
Okay, okay. Miss Tracy, I glad you're joining me tonight.
Thank
This is your first time here on What He Said. The one rule that we have on What He Said with Kevin Walker is that you've got to be brutally honest. The reason why I wanted you on is because I know that's not going to be a problem.
I will be honest, but I'll try not to be brutal.
Yeah, so the other part that I found the most interesting when I met you, it's rare, and not to say that it never happens, but it is rare that I meet people that intrigued by from an intellectual level. So just having the conversations that we had when we originally met and sort of learning some things along the way really quick about you with you being a poet, you writing a book, you owning your own company. And we're going to talk about your company because I think what you're doing now with cultural diversity of businesses and having to sit before some of the board of regents and different people that you're sitting in front of, I know it's hard for them to sit with this black woman and listen to her basically check them on their measures. But hey, it is what it is. Thank you for being you, unapologetically honest. And man, what you're doing is definitely needed in this culture, in this
Thank you.
time.
I'm excited. Thank you.
So do me a favor,
Yes.
pick one of your poems
Okay.
and read it for us right quick.
Okay. I will read the one that I have shared with you.
Hmm.
It's about it's about leaving my spouse
Okay.
and
You
it's
didn't tell me that part.
and it's called The Circus.
The circus. Okay.
Yes. When I was 19, I ran away from home and joined the circus. Thought I was grown, it looked fun, and if anyone had told me not to, I would have done it anyway. When there are only two people in the circus and one person has already declared himself the ringleader, the other person always does the tricks. I've been the lion with the ringleader's head in my mouth, wondering what would happen if I bit it off. I've been the contortionist, bending over every which way for someone else's amazement, amusement, and enjoyment. And I admit there were days when I was just the clown. One little, two little, three little children came to see the circus. No one wants to see the children cry, so the show gets better. I jumped through burning hoops, sang and danced a bit, rode high on the elephant's back, smiling all the while. Got real good on the trapeze because I knew as I went flying, someone on the other end would catch. Got so brave, I thought I'd try my hand at walking the high wire. No one told me they cut a hole in the net. Damn, that fall sure hurt. Almost scared to get up and try again. But what kind of performer would I be? Been putting on this show for over a decade. Why walk away now? Cause damn that fall sure hurt. And I'm feeling safer on the ground. I'm feeling freer on the ground. I'm feeling wiser on the ground. And just because I decided to leave the circus don't mean I won't go sit and watch. It's probably a real interesting show with only one person in the ring.
Wow. Yeah, when you read that one to me the other day, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of taken back. I was like, wow, that's good. That's really good. Um, I didn't know it was relating to your marital status or what your marital status was. I see you, Nicole Rogers. Nikki's giving you the um so that leads me to one of my topics, and I'm glad
Okay.
you chose that one. And the topic that I want to lead to from your poem is you thought my struggles left me for dead. So going through everything that you went through in your marriage and being where you are now, just take your time right now and counsel 21-year-old Tracy J. What would you go back and tell Tracy J, the 21-year-old you, while you were married?
Yeah, wow. So at 21, I was newly married and a new mom. And I would tell her to always stand in her truth, to um, to go back to work, to not be a dependent, and to understand the finances of your freaking house.
So let's tap on go back to work, because so many women speak about independence. So many women claim or think they want to be housewives. Do you? So what about you going back to work you think would change something with your journey? Or what would it change with your journey? Because I'm sure you know what that is.
Yeah, so I've been married twice. This
Mm-hmm.
poem was written during the first marriage or after the first marriage. And actually, in both of my marriages, I felt like a dependent rather than a partner. And even after, even in the second marriage, I was working, but I still wasn't paying attention to the finances. I gave that role over. I didn't think it was important for me to know. And what that sets you up to do is to be basically one of the other children.
Hmm. Wow.
And and I don't like the way that feels. And so, sure, one person may be stronger in that area, right? You have a one person who's stronger financially, and so they take the management of that role, that because somebody has to do it, right? But also, even if one person is going to take management over it, there should always be conversations about it. And because I didn't really work when I was married to my first husband, he ran a business and I sometimes worked for him, but mostly I was a stay-at-home mom. And so I didn't feel like an adult. I felt like a child.
People are saying they love your glasses, Tracy J.
Thank you, y'all. I appreciate that.
So, boy, I just want to go so many places.
We can go wherever you want to go.
So, being married a second time, and I don't want this to sound like an interview, because what I want you to do is speak from your heart and really counsel and help somebody. Really, really counsel and help somebody tonight. So, being who you are now, you're 51,
50.
50. So the 50-year-old Tracy, knowing what you know, being going through what you've gone through, the struggles. So do you think that we attract what balance us? Are we attracted to people that balance us? When we look at a woman, much as I love my mother, do I look at other women and think, well, she acts just like my mama, let me run fast as I can? Or do I gravitate to that because she acts like my mother, because she reminds me of my. Do we, are we, not do we, but are we attracted to balance?
The short answer to your question is no, I don't think we are. Um, people tell you this lie that marriage should be 50-50. And I don't think that marriage should be 50-50. I think two whole people should come into a committed relationship. So it should be 100-100. And when I can't be 100, the other person needs to be able to catch my slack and vice versa. But I should be showing up 100% as a whole human and not waiting on another person to complete me. I think that we sometimes look for balance because we have been taught that myth that so we just had a conversation earlier tonight about myths, so that word myth is stuck in the front of my mind. But we've been taught this myth that that your spouse should complete you. They should not complete you, they should complement you. And you should still be a whole person. You should be able to do the yin and the yang on any given day, as should the other person.
Yeah, hold on. I'm having trouble with my sound really quick. I'm sure you can hear me, and I could barely hear you.
Yes, I can hear you just fine.
Yeah, my son called. I had called him before we went on the air, and he's calling me back. Um, Let me do this really quick. Hold on.
Okay.
Anyway, I ain't gonna worry about it because I can hear you. Um,
What do you think?
so when we talk about being attracted from a balance perspective,
Yeah.
I know my love language is acts of service.
Okay.
Like, I'm attracted to women I found that are caterers,
Okay.
that are servers. I found myself being unattracted to women that don't give back when I'm giving out, because I'm a giver. I'm an act of service kind of guy.
Okay.
And so I found myself being not attracted to women who don't reciprocate what I'm giving at the same time. Um, so I think balance is necessary, because that lady that's on the balcony says that I'm a sapiosexual,
Yes.
that I'm attracted to highly intelligent women. That's when she
Okay.
was like, I noticed a trend with you about something. Like, the women you find attractive are always highly, highly intelligent women, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. I just I just noticed that about you. And maybe so. I don't know. I've never, but then when I slow down to look back, for 22 years I was married to a principal.
Yeah. No,
When
I
we
think
divorced,
intelligence is very sexy.
go ahead.
I said intelligence is very sexy.
Yeah, hold on. Let me fix this, because I'm not gonna like this sound. This sound is killing me.
Okay.
Look, Kevin killed me trying to come in. If it drop you off, come back in.
Okay.
Well, I'm sure y'all can hear me. We'll get it back up when she comes back. Yeah, so that's the thing about me, that I found that my love language is definitely acts of service. And, I know that I'm a giver. I'm a person that in my situations, in my relationships, I want to make sure everybody's good, everybody's happy, the people around me are good. She's back. Hold on. There you go.
All right.
Oh, good. We're back. Sounds back. Uh, yeah. So no, I was just telling everyone that I'm that kind of guy. I'm a service doer. I like making people happy. I like making the people around me happy. I like seeing my friends enjoy themselves and have a good time. And that's at any cost. Like if it's about my friends, people who I think are friends, people who I love, people who I trust, there is no dollar amount. I only really got two or three dudes in my life that I mess with and deal with, and there's no cost differential that I wouldn't go to for my brothers, and they know that. Again, like people say, yeah, you can call me at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm on the way. Hey, that's how we are with each other, and we've proven it to each other when there were situations to arise. Hey, we were on the way. So when we talk about are we attracted to what balances us, I would say yes. I think we are attracted. Now, Tracy, that don't mean that we don't sometimes deal with what doesn't balance us. Because as men, I can't say what I want to say because my baby boy here, but as men, we gonna investigate, and then hey, but that because what look, what I'm just gonna speak for me.
Okay. Just speak for Kevin.
And I've said this a million times on this show, so nobody's going to be surprised. At 54, I'm not going to allow anybody to play with my sexual needs, my sexual gratification, because I'm beyond that as a person. I know who I am and what I am, and I'm not going to talk about bringing nothing to the table because I don't bring the table, I bring the house.
Okay.
So,
Okay, house.
if I'm gonna jump in with somebody, I agree with 100% of what you said. It's got to be 100, 100 or nothing at all for me.
Yeah, I think that we spend a lot of time in our culture telling people that they should be finding somebody that completes them and looking for the other half, my better half, right? Um, I want to be a whole person. I want to be a whole person every day. And if I happen to find another whole person who I can spend my time with that brings me joy, that doesn't take away from my happiness, all the better. But I'm very happy with Tracy, all by Tracy's self.
Yeah, yeah. Let me read some of these comments. Larry McKenzie just chimed in, said sometimes different parts of speak louder than other parts. I didn't get that. Trishana says, come on, peace. Yeah, no, hey, look. Again, I'm one of them who say my peace gotta be my peace. My PIECE gotta be my PEACE. If not, man, we don't have nothing. Like, you know, I told a friend of mine last week, sometimes it ain't that I don't want to talk to you, it ain't that I don't want to see you, but I just want to be alone. I just want to sit in my den, kick my feet up and chillax. I don't want to talk.
Okay,
I
let
don't
me
want,
ask you a question. Let me
uh-huh.
ask you a question. Do you think that sentiment, my peace needs to be my peace, should echo for men and for women?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Okay. Because
Definitely.
sometimes, I have heard men say, because I only date men, so I've heard men say that I should be their peace. But you're not bringing me no peace. So if you're not bringing me no peace, why do you think I'm supposed to be bringing you peace? This got to work both ways, right?
I totally agree. I totally agree. So Felicia Williams says folks also say they want to find someone to make them happy. Yeah. You have to make yourself
You have
happy.
to make yourself happy. That's
Yeah.
not
No,
anybody
but
else's job.
yeah. No, I totally agree. But that's what she finished with. You have to find your own happiness. That
Yeah.
was the like. So Trishana said sometimes people don't understand what peace really is, and I think on both ends people don't understand what they're truly looking for when they talk peace.
Well, that's a big thing, right? So you have to know yourself well enough to be able to articulate what brings you peace. Because you can't hold somebody accountable for something you didn't say to them. And if you aren't willing and able to articulate what it is you need in any given moment, then you can't expect somebody else to provide that. And if I'm telling you I'm hungry, right? Cool. A lot of things could satiate my hunger, but if I have a particular taste, if today I want pizza and I just say I'm hungry, but I don't say I want pizza and you bring me chicken, well, I can't be mad because you brought me chicken, right? If I didn't say specifically, I would really like to have pizza today. Then I'm over here in my feelings because you brought me chicken. Well, all you heard was I'm hungry.
Yeah, yeah. I tell you what I've heard a lot here recently. And the last person I heard say it was Bishop T.D. Jakes. Is that women speak in words, men speak in sign language. Like we show you what we want, we show you what reaction we like from you, but we never use our words and we expect for you to figure it out. Whereas on the other hand, women are using words to describe what they need, what they want. But that's where the old separation, men are from Mars, women are from Venus, comes in because we're two totally different planets.
I get that, and also, so it's this is this and that. It's not this or that. It's this and that. So I get that. However, I'm not a mind reader. I've never been a mind reader, and I don't want to start being a mind reader. So say something, bruh. If you need something, say something. And don't be mad looking twisted face over there because I didn't give you what you needed when you didn't tell me what it was.
So for me, Elisa says it's manipulating to tell a woman what you want, but then don't show that in your actions. So my thing is, if I'm telling you what I want, should you trust my words? Because I'm telling you what I want. Now, the reason why I'm saying trust my words is because sometimes my actions could be subjective to what you want that to mean.
So again, I don't think it's either or. I think it's both and. I'm going to trust your words until your actions show me something else. If you give me a reason to believe by what you're doing that what you said was untrue, then I'm going to have to go with what I saw and not with what you said.
But what if I'm already giving you my words? I'm telling you what it is, Tracy. You don't have to figure it out. I'm telling you exactly what it is.
I do have to figure it out if your actions don't line up with what you said.
But what if my actions are not lining up because that's not what you want it to be?
Okay, so let's talk about integrity.
Okay.
Because integrity is showing up at your word and doing what you said, regardless of what other people are doing or thinking or saying.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are not showing up in integrity, not you, Kevin, but you,
I
random
get it.
man,
I get it.
are not showing up in integrity because your words and your actions are not matching, that's not integrity. So I don't really give a damn what you said if what you're showing me is opposite of what you said.
So if I'm telling you, Tracy, I don't want a relationship,
Yes.
Tracy, I'm not ready for that.
Yes.
Tracy, I don't love you like that.
Yes.
Tracy, I think you're a great person.
Yes.
Tracy, you have a lot of beautiful qualities, but Tracy, I don't want a relationship. But
Yes.
I'm sleeping with you. But
Well,
I'm going downtown to get all the groceries. But I'm telling you, I don't want a relationship. But hey, let's go to the movies. But
okay, so
Tracy,
let
Tracy, I don't want a relationship.
I hear you.
Hey, let's go
I,
run and get something to eat right quick. But Tracy, I don't want a relationship.
okay. So what's the question?
Are you following my actions? Or are you listening to my words?
I am listening to your words and I'm asking additional questions because I don't think that when people are saying one thing and doing something else, I don't think we have enough conversations. So it's fine for you to keep saying that. Cool. You don't want a relationship. Tell me what a relationship looks like to you then. Help me understand what you mean when you say relationship because what you're doing looks like relationship to me. Now we're having a disconnect on what the meaning of this word is. And then we need to come to an understanding about what each of us means about the word relationship. So then I'm not confused. You think relationship is XYZ.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. The things you're currently doing don't fit into your definition of relationship. Got it. Now let me tell you my definition of relationship. It means ZWV. And you've been doing ZWV. So it looks like a relationship to me. So if my definition of relationship and your definition of relationship don't match, then we need to have a different conversation. But it's because we're saying these words and one person has one understanding and another person has a different understanding. We need to have the same understanding of what this means.
But Tracy, if I'm telling you, I'm using my words and I'm saying to you repeatedly that I don't want a relationship, I'm not ready for a relationship, and you constantly giving up the goods, and you agree to give up the goods, I ain't taking nothing. You agreeing to give up the goods. Is that my fault?
It's nobody's fault.
Because that's a mutual exchange.
Okay, so first of all, let's fix our let's adjust our language.
Okay, let's adjust the language. Teach me something, teacher. Teach
Let's
me, teacher.
let's adjust the language because I'm not giving up anything.
Okay.
Everything I have belongs to me. And if
Mm-hmm.
I choose to share it with you, that's between me and me.
Me and me. I like that.
And if my decision to share with you also is tied to my definition of relationship, even though you have said I don't want to be in a relationship, well then that's a conversation I need to have with me. However, if your sharing with me is the definition of relationship in your mind and it's starting to look relationship-ish to you, but you don't want a relationship, then something has to change. Either we need to stop sharing with each other, or you needed to go ahead and admit that you actually do want to be in a relationship.
Let me read some of these comments before I get with you. So
Okay.
let's go back to Yvette Francis, who's saying, Run Love, I think we both want the respect, but women want to be loved as well. Alicia Williams said, Tracy needs to go. She said, Run. I don't know why she was telling you to run.
Where my
Cedric
other
Davenport,
toothpaste?
Cedric Davenport chimed in and said, just like a fruit tree. Once you plant a seed, it's a process before you can enjoy the fruit. And that tree grows through storms to make that fruit. That's true. It is a process. And there are storms, and that tree got to survive to bear that fruit. Yeah, she said, run, Tracy. Felicia says, no commitment. Sonia Jones chimed in and said, I'm listening to your words, but you ain't getting no action. So friend, dinner is on you. So I'm gonna ask that question later. So Kim said, Tracy, you better speak. Ron Love said, if you're sexing a woman's feelings will materialize. Felicia Williams said he wants the goods, but he don't want to be committed. He was using a name. Tracy was an example. So the Davenport said, we have a relationship. We have relationships with everyone we know, just on different levels. So I agree with all that. Tracy, let me do something real quick.
Okay.
Give me about 1 minute. You ain't got to go nowhere,
Okay.
but I want to do some house cleaning from last week
Okay.
because I've been doing this podcast now this week, 2 years.
Okay.
I've been doing this now for 2 years. And the one thing that I said I wanted to do when I first came on and started doing this 2 years ago was that I wanted to be brutally honest. I wanted it to be about self, and I wanted this podcast to help somebody somehow.
Okay.
I wanted, like, my example of help was making people understand why we hate, making people realize that that's not the answer and that love is always key at the end of the day. Um, so, what I want to come back and do now is I want to do some house cleaning from last week. I want to say to somebody that I love dearly that clearly was impacted by last week's show, that was upset by last week's show, and I'm choosing this form versus a personal phone call because this is where supposedly the hurt took place. Whether
Okay.
I see it as that or anybody else see it as that, it really don't matter. That person sees it as that.
Okay.
So I wanted to come back on this forum and publicly apologize for things that they felt, because we haven't had a conversation yet. Things that they felt could have been hurtful or harmful to them, and say that that was never, ever the intent. I know you know better. I know you know I would never do that. I know you know that I would never, ever use your name in no kind of tumultuous or malicious manner. But if you were hurt, I want to look dead in the eye of this podcast and say, I love you and I apologize, because that wasn't the intent. And we'll get a chance to talk tomorrow because I'm going to make sure that happens. And I just wanted to publicly on this same forum, and I said I was going to do it at the bottom of the hour at the 30 mark to make sure there was enough people here that was here last week that heard the podcast. And I know everybody's been saying, well, you never said nothing wrong. He never said nothing wrong. But in my opinion, that doesn't matter if somebody was hurt by the conversation. So I just wanted to apologize. I know you had nothing to do with it, but I appreciate you for being here tonight. And we're going to move on.
Okay.
And so let me ask you this.
Yes.
50-year-old Tracy J,
Yes.
would you marry yourself right now if you was a man? Have
Yes.
you been repaired enough? Do you have fresh meat on the tires? Or are you still riding on that old rubber from years of hurt?
So if I were a man and I was making a choice, yes, I think I am a decent choice for a wife. However,
However,
however, I would say that one, that answer would not have been true just maybe 2 years ago. Would not have been true. I would not. The Tracy of 2 years ago and the Tracy of today are very different people.
I'm reading the comments. Somebody say your check engine light still on.
That's cute. But I would also say that I am a very special and particular person. And it takes a special and particular person to be in my life in that way.
Okay. So 51-year-old Tracy is ready. 49-year-old Tracy was not ready.
50, I'm 50, not 51.
Okay,
I was
48, 40, 48-year-old Tracy was not ready. 50-year-old Tracy is now ready. See, this is what I always, hold on, no, you be quiet.
What
This
do you
is
be quiet?
this is what I get This
No,
is what I get for dealing with you Lamar people. Y'all always want to come on here and be numerically like Elisa come on the show. Tell her to put her big ass in that screen. Elisa come on the show and
she's
she
not even here.
wanna research everything to prove small points when it isn't ant, it's can't. And see, here's the apostrophe between the N and the T. Like, girl, shut your ass up.
I just want to be clear. I'm very happy about being 50. Like it's a big deal for me. I turned 50 in January. I love being 50. It's the best age I've ever had so far as an adult. So and I'm not when I get to be 51, I'm gonna be very happy about being 51. I don't knock age. I think age is great. Um, I just want to make a note that marriage is not at the top of my agenda. That I'm not looking for a husband. I know that there are some women in my age bracket who are looking for husbands. I've been married twice. I didn't particularly enjoy the experience. So that's not at the top of my list of things. Do I want to be partnered? Sure. Do I want to be in a relationship with somebody who matches my vibe? Yes. Um, do I want to have somebody that I can have sex with without thinking about who they having sex with? Yes. Um,
Damn.
in real life. Do I want somebody I can travel with and see the world and do fun things? Yes. But am I running to the altar? No. But that don't mean I'm not a good wife. I could absolutely be a good wife to the right person, but it's not on the top of my agenda. I run a business right now. I live the happiest life I've ever lived, and unless somebody is coming to add to my happiness, I'm good.
So let's talk about that business. I'm glad you brought it up because that's the route I was going next. So tell me the name, number one, of your business. I know the name. Tell the people the name of your business.
Yeah. So I run a company called The Quiet Rebel.
The Quiet Rebel. Now, how did you come up with the Quiet Rebel?
I asked 30 people to give them three things that they thought of when they thought of me. And the words that people gave me, neither was quiet nor rebel, but the words that they gave me had that sort of energy.
Yeah.
And so, and I think it's true. It's true about who I am. I'm an introvert. I'm social, but I'm an introvert. Um, I'm not particularly a loud person. I don't make a lot of noise. I come in, I do what I need to do, and I leave kind of like the wind. Um,
That might be why you're single too, because you don't make a lot of noise. But you know, I'm gonna leave that alone.
whatever,
I'm gonna leave
whatever,
that.
whatever, man. But I'm also a rebel in that I don't think that just because we've always done a thing a particular way that we have to continue doing it that way.
Hmm.
Actually, that's my least favorite response of all the responses in life is because we've always done it that way. That really irks my nerves. And so if a thing needs to be changed, then we should change it. And then nothing should stop us from changing it. So,
So let me ask you this. So let's no, no, no. So let's go backwards a little bit. So let's
okay.
talk about your company. Let's talk about what you do with the Quiet Rebel. Explain to the people exactly what you did on what's today. Today is Wednesday. What you did on Tuesday. On Tuesday morning at 9:30. What did you do?
So my primary work is as a racial equity coach. Oh, there you
Oh,
are. I lost
yeah.
you for a second.
Okay. Go ahead.
So I'm primarily a racial equity coach and consultant. Um, More broadly than that, I help people have conversations that they wouldn't ordinarily want to have. And right now, that conversation that people are trying to run from mostly is about race. It's about race and racism. It's about broken, I shouldn't even say broken, systems that operate exactly as they were always designed to operate that no longer work for us.
The good old boy network, in other words.
The good old boy network, the the United States Constitution. Do you recognize that the United States Constitution has not been amended since 1992? And if we were running a business, an organization, and you had created a strategic plan in 1992 and had not revisited it, somebody would think you were not really doing a good job at your business.
That's
If you had
31 years.
if you had written yourself made yourself a vision board in 1992 and hadn't made a new vision board for yourself since 1992, people would think, was something wrong with you. But we operate a country and try to keep each other bound by decisions that were made when people were still enslaved.
Wow. Talk about it.
And so we have not, as a country, made a new agreement with each other since
Hmm.
1992. And so I talk about it. We talk about it. We got to make some new agreements.
Ron Love said it's not easy amending the Constitution.
No, because there's a lot of political hurdles to amending the Constitution. I'm actually running a group called the Constitution in 90 Days, where I'm inviting people to read the Constitution with me over 90 days, beginning July 3rd.
So you talked about not running to the altar, but not even really being actively searching for a relationship or really even caring to be in one. So is this question really for you? Is flirting truly harmless? Because at some point, Tracy, you're going to have to flirt with somebody to get that man to give you some attention. So it's flirting. This is one of our topics that I gave you.
Yeah.
So everything is just kind of fitting into place perfectly. But is flirting truly harmless? You know where I stand because we talked about it earlier. I don't think flirting is harmless. I think when you're flirting with someone, that person could be damaged. And you don't know if you're flirting. You just, in most people's mind, you're just flirting. It's harmless. Or is it?
So I think anytime another person's feelings or emotions are involved, it's not harmless. Not entirely harmless. Because we never know what another person has been through. So we don't know how we're impacting their life. Now, I say that, and also because again, both and, not either or, I love to flirt. I think flirting is big fun. Now, I do try to take cues, does the man have on a ring, that kind of thing. But I was married to two men who didn't wear a wedding ring. So,
Damn.
so who knows? Right? You just never know when the man is out there in the world if he has on a ring or don't have on a ring. So I know women who wear rings just so people won't bother them.
Yeah, I know women who do that as well.
Right? So they're not married, they're just wearing a ring. I sometimes wear a ring on my wedding finger. But it's because it's where the ring fit. Because my hands gain weight when everything else gained weight. So I have to put the ring on the finger where it fit. So, but I love to flirt. I think flirting is a lot of fun. And I think that if you are in a healthy relationship, that you should be flirting with your partner. Because flirting wakes up some stuff inside your body that you're going to need to tend to later.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's good. I mean, I just feel like with that part that you just spoke on with your mate, yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. I just think to the question of flirting being harmless, unfortunately, not always, because every situation takes on its own wheels. And once that thing get to rolling, hey, sometimes you can get some casualties that get in the way of some certain situations and somebody gets hurt.
Yeah.
So I don't think in every situation, flirting could be just harmless. I think it can be hurtful, and it can be painful.
Yeah, but I don't think anything is always anything. So yes, sure, sometimes flirting can be harmful, but also it can be harmless.
So let me ask you this. This was another one of our topics.
Okay.
Since we're talking about marriage and flirting and harmless and hurtful,
Yes.
how important is chemistry in a relationship? How important is chemistry in bed and why? Number one, let's deal with the relationship before we go to the bedroom.
Okay.
And let's talk about, we're
So
talking strictly on chemistry.
Just chemistry. So I do think chemistry is important. I do think that people need to be drawn to each other. That's all we talk about when we talk about chemistry. Is this, am I drawn
Hmm.
to this?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and so, yes, I do think you need to be drawn to that person. If you're drawn to how they look, you're drawn to their intellect, you're drawn to how they smell, you're drawn to how they dress, you're drawn to their hobbies, whatever. You have to have something that continues to draw you to that person. So, yes, I do think chemistry is important. And just like with actual chemistry, I think that you can repair chemistry. You just have to mix a different element. So sometimes we don't have the right elements in our test tube and we need to try something else and you can get your chemistry back.
You know, I think chemistry for me personally goes beyond the physical because I heard you mention that because I found myself being attracted physically on one instance, but on another instance, the ignorance of the conversation and the comments have totally turned me off. So I think if you're not intellectually stimulated, and maybe that's not for everybody, maybe I am a sapiosexual, because if it ain't intellectually there, then I'm easily irritated.
Yeah.
I've found myself being easily irritated when dumbass questions are being asked in simple situations.
So let me ask this. Have you also found the opposite to be true? That somebody who you weren't necessarily physically attracted to, but you really were drawn to their intellect, does that make them more attractive?
That makes for great conversation. I don't know if that makes me sexually drawn to them, but I would say I definitely could be a very strong friend to them because, okay, perfect example is Elisa. Like, that's my dog. Like, and we dogs based on our conversation pieces, but there's no other attraction. Dudes be like, say, man, what's up, man? Hook me up with your girl. I'd be like, nigga, okay. Like, shit, that's just my homie. I don't see what you see, but okay. And I really don't because I truly don't. And we laughed about it one day because I was like, there's this thing that's on TikTok. I watch TikTok all the time because they be the craziest videos, but they talk about passing the friendship test. I told her, I said, I know we would pass because I'm gonna call you and be like, hey, you want to Netflix and chill? And she'll be like, nigga, get off my phone. Don't be calling me with that bull. But there is nothing wrong. I personally don't think there's nothing wrong with being attracted to a person based on who they are. And I think that's what comes through in the conversation, the real person, who they really are. Their true intellect really shines through via conversation.
Okay, that's fair.
But that's
However,
not but that's not always sexually stimulating.
no. Well, let me speak for Tracy. I can't speak for other people. I can speak for Tracy. That there have been moments where I did not think a man was attractive, physically attractive. But after I had a series of conversations with him, I thought, oh, he could get it because of how my body felt after the conversation.
Come on, body.
And my body was responding to the draw of his intellect and not to his physical appearance. Now, do I think physical appearance is important? Yes. And is it like, do I want to wake up and feel okay that I woke up looking at you? Yeah, yes. But also, like, can I reason with myself that maybe the physicality is not as important after I've already fallen in love with your mind? Also, yes.
So I think that goes back to, are we attracted to what balances us? Because basically, what you just explained is that when a man is intellectually divine, he mentally stimulates you to the point to where he becomes fine from a physical standpoint.
Yeah, but that's not balancing me because I think I'm fine too. And
Oh,
I think I'm intellectually stimulating. So that didn't have nothing to do with him. That don't
oh,
have
geez.
nothing to do with him.
So Kimberly Lewis says, I am almost instantly turned off by a man who can't hold an intelligent conversation, no matter how attracted I am to him physically. Okay. Then Kylie Spencer says, take the mind and the ass will go. Hmm. Okay, what did T say? Because he said, well, damn, T. What did he say? Oh, I pushed my camera. Anyway, I can't get to that comment, so we'll let that one ride. Um, so Tracy, did you have a sad part for us? We got about six minutes left in the show. Something in the social realm. Oh, he was talking to you. He said, well, damn, T.
Oh.
Something in the social realm that's just irritating your craw. Here's your moment. Here's your 3 minutes of glory to speak on the bull.
So the thing that's most present in my mind right now, and it might have something to do with the work I do, but it might also just be because of who I am as a human, is the number of people who are dying at the hands of gun violence in
Mm.
this country. And the number of people who continue to fight for gun laws, who are like hiding behind the Second Amendment. When the Second Amendment was written just for all of our own information and edification, was written so that white people could go and bring back slaves that ran away. The well-formed militia was so that anybody could be deputized to go and bring back Black people who were seeking their freedom. And so that here we are, all these years removed from when that statement was written, and people feel like they need weapons of whatever kind, particularly automatic weapons that kill multiple people at the same time. When we have a well-regulated militia, we have all these police officers, we have 5 or 6 branches of the armed forces. We don't need John Q. Citizen to be running around here deputized to do anything. Sit your silly ass down. That's the sad part.
Thank you, Miss Tracy J. You know, the thing that's been bothering me recently, like really bothering me, and I posted about 5 times this morning. Sometimes as Black people, we get in our own way. And the thing that's been bothering me about us recently is that I read an article that said you will lose the base of your friends and family between 54 and 74. Well, I'm 54. And honestly, it seemed like since I've turned 54, the base of my family and a lot of my friends are dropping off the planet. But they're leaving this earth and leaving debt behind. Leaving the type of debt behind that doesn't really have to be left behind. The one thing I remember as a kid, more so than any other time, is playing outside and this strange man pulling up in the car with a suit on, going in his trunk and getting his briefcase and knocking on about 5 doors as he visited homes. My grandmother referred to him as the insurance man. So what I did know is that my grandmother valued life and money enough to make final plans before it was her end. What my grandmother didn't worry about was her mental health. What my mother didn't worry about was her mental health. Both people who I love dearly had life insurance, where there was no struggle when they parted this earth due to their complications from their mental health. Both passed of complications from dementia. But they were smart enough while here and in their right mind, Black people, to have life insurance. Don't leave your family to sell catfish dinners for the community to support your people financially. I told Elisa earlier, I think people are afraid to talk insurance because they're afraid they can't afford it. She was explaining to me that she did a policy for a young lady, 29 years old, that cost her like 20 something bucks a month for almost $30,000 or $40,000 worth of life insurance. It's not expensive. Not only do I have life insurance with my job, I also took out more policy from her, just so not only I could pay my way out the door as God called me home, but I can leave my kids with a blessing. Now, what they do with it is on them, but they can't say Daddy didn't try. So I challenge everybody on this live, everybody that's going to watch this live, say, man, get in Elisa Denise inbox and get you some coverage. I think the cheapest you can get is like $15,000 worth. That's minimal. I promise y'all drink that on Fridays and Saturdays. In your first hour at the club, you drinking that. In your first 3 or 4 drinks at Papa Do's, you drinking that. That's not a lot of money, guys, I promise. Don't do it to your husband. Don't do it to your kids. Don't do it to your wife. Don't do it to your classmates, leaving them forced to support your family with buying fish dinners, putting their money in a GoFundMe that raises 10,000 and GoFundMe take 3. So your family only getting 7. Do me a favor. What he said with Kevin Walker, get in Elisa Denise's inbox and get you some insurance. Hey, let me say this. Even if you hate her ass, you probably don't even know her because people hate people for no apparent reasons. Let's take her out of the equation. Find somebody you hate or find somebody you love, I'm sorry, and get you some insurance. Find you random whoever and get you some life insurance. Get some on that lazy, sorry ass uncle of yours who don't do shit with his life, but drink Bud Lights and smoke weed, so that when he die, you can benefit. And maybe you can help his family cremate his ass. Get you some life insurance because there's too many of us leaving here and our families are left to sell fish dinners and put GoFundMe accounts on Facebook. And that's the sad part. Miss Tracy J.
Denise also, so FYI.
See, Miss Tracy J, I want to thank you again for your presence tonight. We got to do this again really soon. Man, I've learned a lot. I always feel smarter. I told you that before. I always feel smarter when I talk to you. Uh, hey, keep educating the masses. Keep doing what you do with the Quiet Rebel. I wish you luck with that going forward. Again, thank you for being here on What He Said with Kevin Walker. That has been our hour, guys. Thank you and peace.